Hi, my name is Rick Gurley, and I've been attending Spring Hills Baptist Church for almost 2 years now. Without question, I hit the lowest point of my life in March of 2021. I got divorced from my wife. I was drinking excessively. I'd also sold my house, moved into the basement of my sister's house, so I was living in isolation and just really started to have a lot of negative, suicidal thoughts. Depression and anxiety were just consuming me. At that moment in my life, I knew that I needed change, real change, and so I started searching for God, and I poured out the beer and started praying and reached out to Pastor Tom and reconnected with him for the first time in 20 years. And he offered to see me. After I began to meet with Pastor Tom, life started to change slowly. I began to put anchors in place. I started attending church on a regular basis, but I was still lonely. I was still somewhat isolated. So basically I only had church on Sundays, and then the rest of the time I was kind of trapped inside of my mind with my thoughts, feelings, and emotions, and the enemy was sitting there waiting on the battlefield to just tear me down at every turn in the road. One Sunday after I began attending church, there was a blurb on the screen about this Celebrate Recovery, and I remember thinking, oh, that's interesting, and maybe that's something good for me. But then I could kind of feel this little voice in the back of my head saying, do you really want to put yourself out there to this? Soon after that, I found out that my ex-wife was dating somebody, and that really threw me into a tailspin, and I was completely consumed with suicidal thoughts. I didn't know where to turn to, but then something popped in the back of my mind that said CR, and so I reached out. I knew at that moment that God had foreseen what was going to happen, and he saw the battle happening in my mind, and he planted that seed. So at that point, I decided to go to Celebrate Recovery, and what I found there was truly amazing. I found people who were broken like me, and I also found a lot of people who had been broken like me, but now had victory. One night as I was praying and meditating to hear, God's voice speak to me, I really felt like the Spirit was saying to me, I release you of your ex-wife. I release you of your marriage and divorce. As I heard that voice, I felt that speaking to me, it just washed over me with peace and joy and love. So as of now, my life has totally changed. I've, completed the step study at Celebrate Recovery. I've gone through the sponsor training. I go to small group. I talk about my struggles and my victories. I go to large group and continue to learn about that blueprint, that working knowledge that God gives us through the steps on how to deal with hardships and struggles as we go through life. I've also gone on a men's retreat, which I never thought I would do, and it was one of the best times of my life. It was re-energizing, and God is just at work in my life and using me to, start helping others, and I'm just really, really excited to see where it goes from here. Maybe you're sitting out there right now and you're struggling, you're depressed, you're filled with anxiety. I just want you to know that God's peace is out there and he's waiting to wash it over you. Just ask for it.